I'm Amy, thank you for tuning in. This is my March wrap-up video and it's going to be a super short video because I only read 4 books. I think part of the reason for that was that I was super busy and fragmented in March. Lots of things going on, lots of different stuff taking my attention, and sometimes that is a time when I would retreat into books and use them to relax, but I just didn't have time and I didn't feel that I could concentrate on a book for whatever reason, which isn't like me. So I only read 4 books, but I did really enjoy all of what I read, so I'm really glad I picked these ones because they were literally all I had time to read. So the thing I read the most recently, so I'll talk about that first because I can actually remember it, is The Babysitter by R.L. Stine. When I'm asked, I always say that this is probably my second favourite point horror book, and yet I realised I hadn't read it for nearly 20, maybe more than 20 years, probably more like nearly 30 years, sob. So I haven't read it for that long, and I realised that the Tales of Point Horror Book Club were reading it. If you want to check them out, they're on Instagram. They do a live chat every month about a book that everybody reads, and it's just a really lovely community. And because they're reading this book in March, I thought I need to pick this up and see if it holds up to my memory of it. And actually, I didn't realise, I thought that Scream was my first kind of time that I confronted somebody creepy, like phoning somebody, sort of circling their life and getting closer and closer. I didn't realise that it was The Babysitter that did that. This is more of a stalker book than a slasher book. Somebody is stalking and attacking babysitters, and of course the main character thinks it's fine to continue babysitting for a week, twice a week, as you do when you're a point horror character. It's quite creepy. I wouldn't say it really scared me, but it's definitely atmospheric and there's some really good moments in it. And I kind of worked it out, but it's quite rare with a point horror because they are fairly simple generally with not loads of characters. I wasn't 100% certain whether I'd got the right person, so it was really well executed at the end of the book. There was a nice little twist that I didn't figure out as well. I definitely recommend this one if you're looking to try out point horrors. This has the really good feel of a point horror. Not much death in this one, but it is a really creepy, fun, good time. Next up, I read the YA Book Club pick. I had a lovely time talking to Paula and Kirsty about this one. I really enjoyed this book. I would say that I absolutely loved House of Hollow, so I went in this one with really high expectations. And for whatever reason, I found the writing beautiful and evocative and the characters amazing and so well drawn, but it took me about halfway into this book to fully get gripped by it, which happens to me sometimes. But the second half of the book, particularly the second quarter, was so explosive and fast-paced and just really well delivered, and the very final note of the book I really enjoyed. So overall I thought this was great. If you start it and you're not sure about it, I'd say push on a little bit further maybe than you normally would, because if you're a fan of the writing and if the characters are doing something for you, then I think definitely it will be a satisfying read, I hope anyway. Next up, I've been craving romantasy. She holds it up tentatively because it hasn't been a genre that I've gone for recently. I had a real patch in my 20s of reading fantasy and I just went off it. I think I started to find a lot of fantasies were quite dense, lots of backstory. I got really confused and it just put me off. So I asked my friend who, Mia, is a big romantasy reader and writer in fact, and I said, what do you think I should read? And she said, well, for you, definitely Kingdom of the Wicked. It's got vampires and sort of vampire peripheral demons and stuff in it. Give this one a go. And I'm really glad I did. I loved it. There were parts of it where I found the pace dipped a little. It did the YA thing of the parents sort of vanish for a while in the book. The teenage girl is just kind of casually sauntering around the town when young women are being murdered. So I had a couple of things that didn't quite resonate with me, but overall I thought it was brilliant. I really enjoyed the writing. I thought the romance was electric. The chemistry between the main characters is really good. And I loved where it ended, so I immediately went out and ordered the next 2 books in the series, which is quite unusual for me. I don't normally do that. I don't tend to plunge in when I've not bought something. So I've ordered them and they will be coming up fairly soon in other videos because I don't think I can wait too long. And next up, I read a rom-com. I can't remember the last time I did read a rom-com. I've certainly not read many of them in my whole life. And I loved it. I think I might have peaked though, because every time I talk about this, people say, oh, this is my favourite rom-com. So I hope I've got more rom-coms that I will love as much as this one to come. It is the story of Piper, who is a socialite and influencer. She gets in really big trouble with her stepdad and he ships her off to the town that her family are from to think about what she's done, basically, even though she's a grown woman. And she ends up falling for a grumpy fisherman who has got his own kind of challenges from his past, and also he does a really dangerous job, so there's lots of tension in this one, lots of kind of ups and downs for the characters, and it just kept me absolutely gripped. I love the romance. This was a series that I could see these characters again, but there is a follow-up to it where two of the characters that appear in this book appear in their own book, which I think is called Hook, Line and Sinker, so predictably I have ordered that one as well, and it's sitting on my TBR pile or room at this point. I think it's more accurate. So that is it. I'm really pleased that I read a mixture of books this month, because even though I didn't have any headspace really for reading, I really enjoyed the books that I did pick, so that was great. Let me know in the comments if you think there's any books that I should add to my TBR, particularly romantasies, because I feel like I'm brand new to this world. I've ordered Fourth Wing and I've ordered Powerless, I think it's called, but any other recommendations that you can give me would be awesome. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!